The fact that it ever got made is insane.
I'm oversharing here, but it was, I slept on an ottoman.
Our first question this is the pitching category, comes from Fernando Tabarez. How did you hook up with Ed Helms? Was he the reason why Netflix took on the show?
Yes.
Tinder.
Yes, Tinder.
I'm joking.
It could have even been still in 2013.
It was.
That we got an email from a random account to the Aunty Donna email address that said, hey, I like your videos that you make online. I am a US agent. My name is Taylor. And if you need US representation, then hit me up. If not, this is just a message from a fan. And we went, that's pretty cool.
I remember having a very frank conversation. Because Frank wasn't there, so I was filling in for him.
Yeah.
Just trying to whiten.
No, I like it. I like it. I really like it.
That joke. Cool. We had a conversation. We all sat around and we went, what have we got to lose if we just go over there for 1 week and see if he's legit? Worst comes to worst, we spend a couple of $1,000. We go to LA, we're there for a week. It's shit, he's not legit, and we come home, but we know. That was the kind of, and we went, all right, let's roll that.
And that was
let's roll those dice.
It was a time when I could eat anything.
Yeah, I remember eating.
And so, the idea of 5 days in America,
Yeah.
Dream.
I think it's SK Donuts. We were around the corner from the 24-hour donut shop, and I remember going and getting donuts at like 3 a.m. because I was jet-lagged, and they were really yummy.
yeah, so that was like, hey, a week in LA, some donuts. This is 2015.
Yeah, it's getting to about 20.
It was after between the first and second Edinburgh, so
Yeah.
whenever that was.
Yeah. It's all 6 of us, by the way.
Yeah, they said all 6 of you come over.
No, they were like, they were iffy on the all 6 of us, remember?
I said all 6 come over, and then we got there.
That's right.
And then Taylor was like, I don't think all 6 of you should go in the meetings.
And then we were like, nah, we're all here. All 6 of us are going to every meeting.
It's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
Hey, I mean, that's a discussion you have.
The number one,
You're in
we,
Los Angeles.
we did a week of network meetings, and every time we walked in the room, they went, a lot of you guys.
Yeah.
Some people say that LA's a bit shit because everyone's nice and positive and fake. But I prefer it to the UK because the UK, we never even got to that point. The UK was like, fuck you lot.
Never even had meetings.
Never got there. So we never even got in a door over there. And we tried multiple years. But the US, it doesn't matter if you're full of shit. They're like, yeah. They'll take a meeting and be positive. So they didn't know who the fuck we were, but they took lots of positive meetings with us. And Ben Stillers in particular was fantastic. I remember we went 2 people and we killed in the room. They're like, yeah, laugh. Really funny. They were really positive. By the time we got to the car, Tails they passed. They don't want to work with you. And no one else that week said anything like that. It was just like, hey, nice to meet you. If you ever have stuff, let us know. Really positive and non-committal. But Ben Stillers people were like, don't ever come back here. But it was the one that was the most positive meeting of the
Without
week.
question.
I remember just having one where he was like, you guys are a lot like workaholics.
As it was going along, he was like, I've catered this week to meetings with comedy people and alternative comedy people.
Alternative, yeah.
And towards the end of the week, he said, I'm going to add on this guy called Mike Falbo from a company called Pacific Electric because he's really cool. He's not right for you guys, but you should just meet him. It'll be a nice thing. We went in and had a nice chat with him, and then then we had a nice week. We met with Tim and Eric's people as well, and they were really positive.
Yeah, I remember when I fucking screamed when we got the email being like, you're going to meet with Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was like, holy shit, that's the fucking dream scenario. They're perfect for us.
And
had a great meeting with them.
Walked out of that week with 2 people who were like, we would like to do stuff with them. One was Absolutely, which is Tim and Eric's company, was Tim and Eric's current, and Pacific Electric. I'm like, oh yeah. And then as time went on, we never met Ed, by the way. You never meet Tim and Eric. You never meet Ben Stiller. You don't meet these people.
You see their
You meet
car
people
parks.
who work for. You see where their car goes.
Yeah.
So we went away, and then 2 of them were like, we want to kind of develop an idea with you. And we're like, well, that's really nice. And then we developed an idea with Pacific Electric. They were the most keen, and we developed something with them for maybe 15 years.
It was...
Or closer to 4.
It was 6. right?
I think we maybe talked about like a rumpus room or something, and I remember his note being like, "Why not a whole house?" or something like that.
I think
It was
possibly.
something
I think we
like
had
that.
heightened idea, and he was like, "What about just you guys in a house or something like that?"
Yeah, it was maybe
Because everything in Australia we've been told was like, you can't just do a show in a house. It's got to be shit.
It has to
because
be
in
bad.
Australia we make shit. And we eat our own shit, and in Australia, that's what we make here. So
you need to do the middle amount of writing.
Yeah.
It's got to no longer be fresh. It's got to no longer be fresh and new, but it can't be refined.
Trends change, but at the time, the trend in Australian TV was, if this isn't bad, we won't make it.
Yeah,
And
we
kept
only
being
make absolute dog shit.
Well,
And it stayed
now,
true.
Mark, no, the trend has changed. Now they say you got to make sure that the dog shit looks nice for streamers.
Yeah.
For international sales.
So we pitched to Comedy Central at some point, and you've always loved the idea of Comedy Central, like, yeah, cool, we'll take it back and we'll get back to you. And they never, ever got back to us. And Sam likes the idea of still going, hey, we've got an idea, we're in development with Comedy Central.
We're just waiting to hear back.
We're just waiting to hear back from. We've been waiting for a while.
They got a week of pitches, and I remember feeling a bit flat that we only got 3 places. And one was Apple TV, who was just starting. They hadn't launched yet.
Yeah.
And the second one was Amazon Prime. When we walked in the building at Prime, there was just a fucking tick everywhere. That was their big show, The Tick. They were rebooting The Tick.
It's a good reboot.
And then at the end of the week, Netflix. And so, yeah, we show up to the first one, and it's ages away. It's like doesn't matter. And
That was our first time meeting Ed.
and then we walk in the foyer, and Ed Helms walks in. He's like, hey, guys, how you doing, guys? And we're like, hey. And then I have this story I say where, because their office was really, really nice. It looked like an 1915 like electric water company. It had this really old. They'd really beautifully addressed their office. And I said to him, I love the office, by the way. It's really great. And he went, thank you. Yeah, it was a good show to do. And I
popular
said,
show.
no, I'm so sorry. I wasn't complimenting you on the sitcom The Office. I was complimenting you on your office.
Which is good.
Yeah.
It is a good show.
I felt like a bit of a dumb cunt. Then we went into Apple, and they were really positive. And I went like, oh, okay, that was nice. And then Ed, I remember saying, we'd never met the man before. He's like, what I love about these guys is A, B, and C, and X, Y, and Z, and they're so crazy. And the Universal guy's like, we make The Office. We made Forrest Gump.
And they're like,
we
wait.
love them.
The pitch and the idea. At the time, it was just called Aunty Donna's House. But the pitch was very fully formed, even to the point where we did, at the end of the pitch, we did we walked through what an episode could look or feel like using old sketches from our YouTube. So we went through like how a plot could play out, and then we'd show videos. It was a whole video presentation.
The first one went well. Then we did it, and we went to Prime, and I remember them loving, like losing their mind.
Netflix was the last one.
And they feel like, no Ed.
Ed couldn't make it.
And so we do the Netflix one, and we walk in.
I remember it's the only one I lost my nerve. We could stay to... Fucking hell, sorry. It's the only one where I forgot what I was doing and then did my rambly thing and looked down until I found my words, and I just got very nervous.
At that point in time, it was the only streaming platform that you could get in Australia.
Yes.
So we were like, this is the one we would fucking really love, because there was no Apple Plus and there was no Prime in Australia yet. And then I remember going into the room and going, this is all fun and nice. And then I'm sitting down, and one of the girls there, who was young, goes, we saw you and we liked this sketch. And I remember going, oh yeah, we're on here.
Oh, that's great.
And I was like, and so we did it, and we'd rehearsed it. We'd done it. It was the last one to do, and we did all this, and we talked ourselves up. And then we walked down. I was like, that was cool.
Can I say, I thought we blew it.
Yeah, right.
I really did. I remember just thinking, wasn't that it was like any way significantly worse. I just felt like without Ed, it was the one, where I really felt like this is our best shot.
Yeah.
And I remember just walking away, just being like, man, we didn't like, it didn't like the magic of the Amazon one where we were like, boom, 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 boom. And it was like, it just felt a little more stilted. We didn't hit the jokes as hard. I really walked away being like, that's a shame. I don't think we got that over the line.
Ed did follow up with an email though, which was lovely.
Yeah.
Like Ed emailed.
They good, he wrote. Well, we pitch it, we go on tour, and we hear that Apple has said no. And then Amazon said we'd rather.
We're here pretty quick, right? Like
Apple, Amazon within
within a week.
We
or
were
2
on tour, and
weeks.
they go, no.
Yeah, and it was there. That was kind of what we were told. It was like, if you don't hear anything quickly, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Because they're going through the process of, they're talking about it, and they're like, can we do it, and how can we do it? And it's like, that's potentially what's being worked out.
And then we're doing podcasts in our old podcast studio at Urban Street.
Yeah.
And our old manager calls and says, answer your fucking phones. And we're like, oh no, it's 9/11 too. 1822.
We did think that. We did think that.
Yeah, but we think that all the time.
Yeah. And then
Anytime I have a missed call from my mum, I'm like, either Nana's dead or it's 9/11 part 2.
which is completely like there's nothing.
Well, Nonna's on her way out.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the 9/11 thing
That's a stretch. Nonna dying, yeah, it could be any day
comes
now.
for us all.
Yeah.
So we're in our office.
Yeah, and then so we call back Brett from Pack Electric, and he's like, just very flippantly just goes, yeah, they're giving you 6 episodes. All right, well, we'll stop working on the next live show and start working on the TV show because we'll be there in a matter of days. We left 14 months later.
And I would argue that those were the 14 most excruciating, difficult months of my entire career.
Yeah.